Welcome back to Kim Reads. Today we are on Chapter 18, Island Mail. The storm had wrecked many things and everything was flooded. Our bridge had been broken and our pipes were all burst. We had much to do. After days of work and to see the boys were becoming bored, it was time for another adventure. Ernst decided to stay with his mother and me while the other boys got ready to go on a journey to the farm. They left Storm and Grumble and the dogs. I noticed that Jack had left with a cage full of pigeons, but I really didn't think much about it. The next morning, while my wife and Ernest and I sat on the porch, we talked about how the boys might be doing on their adventure. Ernest told us to just wait and that we would have to know the next day. But then, a pigeon flew into the coop and Ernst ran off. He came back with a small bit of paper in his hand. "It's a letter from the Pigeon Post Office," he said. He laughed at this wonderful surprise. Ernst read the letter to us. "A hyena has been killed, a sheep and 2 lambs, but we have taken care of him. We're all fine. Love to all, Fritz." Every night after that, we got a letter by pigeon telling us of the boys' adventures. After their hyena fight, Fritz took the kayak from the beach and paddled up the river. The boys on the shore caught a pair of black swans. While they were there, they also saw an amazing animal come running out of the woods. By their description, I knew it was a tapir. Then they went back to the farm to collect all the cotton and rice they could. Next, they headed up to Prospect Hill. They found it again, taken home by monkeys who attacked them when they got there. After fighting off the monkeys, they spent a long and scary night alone. "We were all afraid," wrote Fritz, "because we heard a noise during the night and it was so loud all the animals ran from it. It was like a roar, like an elephant and a lion. And the dogs were very scared. There were giant footprints everywhere. Come to us, father. We are safe, but we are no match for this danger." After reading this last passage by pigeon, I jumped and ran to my donkey. I told Ernst to come after me the next morning with his mother and supplies. I rode through the night by moonlight and got to the boys in the morning out of breath. The boys were thrilled to see me and what to expect the footprint. I thought they were from an elephant, but the more I looked, the more I thought they would be from an entire herd of elephants. They were nowhere to be seen, however. We spent all night telling tales around the fire, too excited to sleep. Next morning, my wife and Ernst, along with the ostrich, got to camp, and they were happy to find us all safe. Decided to make a wall to keep out the elephants, and then the boys explored. Fritz found a river in his kayak and found banana and cocoa plants to take home to the farm. When he came back, he told us what he had seen. "I saw 15 to 20 elephants feeding by the river and bathing in the marsh, and I saw jaguars on the banks. As I was getting close to the elephants, the water started to bubble around the kayak. I thought I had paddled in the middle of the spring. Just then, a hippo came right up beside my canoe and scared the life out of me. I turned and came rushing back to you. It was a wonderful story. I was told what kind of land was around us." Fritz handed his brother Jack a bag. Whatever was inside, they kept a secret. Fritz begged me to be able to head back home by kayak, and I told him he could. We headed back, and Jack carried the back of Master Hurricane. When we got back to Rockburg, he put his bag in the swamp. That night, we sat around and listened to Fritz's stories of his adventure on the kayak. Suddenly, we heard a loud, strange noise from the swamp. Jack jumped and ran once as the boys all sprang to their feet. I turned to see Fritz laughing and waited to see what has come. Soon, Jack came back with a wet bag. He opened it at our feet and popped out a giant pair of frogs. "This is Grace, and this is Beauty." The happy laughed and the frogs croaked away comically. It was a return worth remembering, and we could all come in early, tired, and spent. The next day, we all set back to work, starting on a new project for the flag post and a gun at Shark Island in case of danger. Our plan was to fly a red flag for danger if we spotted it, so the others could be warned, and a white flag for calm. attack was not finished, I let the boys celebrate by firing a cannon with a loud shot that echoed around the island and have them laughing with joy. Well, that's it for that chapter. Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for more.